36-8 Diagram Arrays, the Array of Destiny. Xiefeng. The occurrence, development, transition, and extinction of everything and every phenomenon in the world all have a destiny. The Earth's year is 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. This is a destiny. The mass of the Sun is 1.989 times 10 to the power of 27 tons, the mass of the Earth is approximately 9.89 times 10 to the power of 21 tons, and the mass of the Moon is about 7.35 times 10 to the power of 22 tons. These are also destiny. A person has 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 1 head, and 2 legs. The human body has 206 bones, and the heart beats 2.5 to 3 billion times in a lifetime. The normal pH of the human body is 7.35 to 7.45, and the normal body temperature averages between 36 and 37 degrees Celsius, underarm. Normal blood pressure is 140 mm of mercury, 18.6 kilopascals, systolic, and 90 mm of mercury, 12 kilopascals, diastolic. There is a specific size, quantity, and distance ratio between each organ in the human body. These are all destinies. Everything has a limit. Exceeding the limit will cause a qualitative change, or in other words, everything has a certain proportion or degree, and exceeding that proportion or degree will inevitably lead to the opposite. When water is poured into a container, there is definitely a moment when it is full. When eating, there is always a moment when you cannot eat anymore. A camel can only carry a certain weight. Beyond the maximum load, a straw can break the camel's back. A metal rod is very hard, but if continuously struck at a certain fixed point, it will eventually break. Everything has a destiny, this is the law of the universe. Regarding human life, the same law of everything having a destiny also applies. The number of teeth a person should have, the number of hairs, the number of sweat glands are all destinies. When a person is born, when teeth grow, when puberty starts, when aging begins, when death occurs, these are all destinies. It takes 21 days for a chicken to hatch eggs, and humans give birth after 10 months of pregnancy. This is a destiny. We know weather forecasts can predict the weather. This itself proves that everything has a destiny. If there were no destinies, it would be impossible to forecast the weather for the next few days, even impossible for a few hours. Throughout human history, some people have been able to predict the future changes of the world, which also proves that everything has a destiny. Before the discovery of some chemical elements, Mendeleev arranged the periodic table of elements and predicted the existence of other elements that had not yet been discovered. This means that everything has a destiny, a law, and a rule. So, how long a person can live in their lifetime, what diseases they will get, when they will get better or worse, what kind of people they will meet in their lifetime, what conflicts they will have with others, what blessings and sufferings they will experience, what kind of hardships they will endure, and even what kind of work they will do, are all destinies that cannot be escaped. This is also the truth summarized by the ancients. What is meant to be will always find a way, what is not meant to be cannot be forced. Giving everything a certain destiny allows them to grow, decline, change, and transit within a certain destiny, thus maintaining the orderly operation of the world, which is the destiny array. Without the destiny array, the Earth would run out of the solar system, tigers would grow wings, mice would be bigger than cows, people could drink the Pacific Ocean in one gulp, some people would live for tens of thousands of years on Earth, and seasons would not change periodically. The destiny array is a constraint. Confining everything within a certain range, proportion, or degree is the function, value, and significance of the destiny array. If one does not escape the destiny array, as a human, they will inevitably continue to cycle within a certain domain of life. So, how can one escape the destiny array? Grafting apples onto cold-resistant pear trees produced apple pears. A common iron rod becomes magnetic and directional after magnetization. Ordinary iron, when carbon is added, carbonization, becomes alloy steel, greatly improving its strength, hardness, toughness, and plasticity. Saccharine and sweet wine, chestnuts and duck meat, persimmons and crabs, shrimp shells and red dates combined into food become toxic. Morphine, derived from the opium poppy, reacts with acetic anhydride to undergo esterification, resulting in the formation of its diacetyl derivative, which is the notorious drug heroin. When the nature of things changes, their destinies change accordingly. The key to escaping the destiny array is to replace human consciousness with celestial consciousness. After the replacement, the destinies as a human end, and the destinies as a celestial being begin. 36-8 Diagram Arrays, the array of ethical relations. Xiefeng. Ethical relations refers to the relationships established between individuals based on various factors such as generation, status, seniority, gender, and degree of kinship. These relationships include those between grandparents and grandchildren, parents and children, spouses, siblings, uncles and nephews, aunts and nieces, in-laws, rulers and subjects, superiors and subordinates, leaders and followers, employers and employees, masters and disciples, teachers and students, and so on. Various roles in society, such as the President, Vice President, Secretary of State, Prime Minister, ministers, governors, mayors, county magistrates, bureau chiefs, section chiefs, town chiefs, village chiefs, and ordinary people, form a hierarchical array. Similarly, roles in a corporation like chairman, CEOs, managers, team leaders, and staff members form another array. In religious contexts, the Pope, cardinals, bishops, priests, monks, and believers form yet another array. In a family context, relationships between grandparents, parents, children, and grandchildren form an array. From these principles, we derive a network of relationships: familial relationships, relationships with nature and society, relationships among divine beings, ethical human relationships, moral norms, ethical principles, order of relationships, sequence, order, structure, generational relationships, matching relationships, party relationships, military relationships, relationship charts, quality of relationships, noble relationships, prestigious relationships, tribal relationships, material relationships, experiential relationships, quality of relationships, intimate relationships, listed relationships, peer relationships, and so on, forming a network of relationships. Ethical relations uphold the order in human society, establishing a clear hierarchy and maintaining orderliness among individuals based on mutual respect and deference. Every individual, regardless of who they are, navigates their life within this matrix of ethical relations, embedded in this intricate web of interpersonal relationships. Should anyone breach these ethical relations, they will face the punitive consequences of this ethical matrix. Such transgressions may include violating norms and ethics, disrupting societal relations, disregarding moral principles, or behaving worse than beasts, resulting in a moral torment or societal condemnation. By binding individuals within these ethical relations, people are provided with guidelines to follow, preventing chaos and disorder. However, being trapped within these ethical relations, individuals become ensnared in a perpetual cycle of life and death, unable to escape the inevitable realm of existence. They are also unable to escape the confines of the territories of different qualities of life. For instance, the influence of parental relations within the ethical array is so profound that it becomes difficult for individuals to escape. Similarly, marital relations within the ethical array constitute a significant portion of one's life, meaning that half of one's happiness or misery is created by their spouse. Once interpersonal relationships are established among individuals, they inevitably come under their influence. Aspects such as consciousness, thought, emotion, spirit, lifestyle, daily routine, diet, ideology, and so on, are unable to form an independent and complete personality in self-system. They cannot achieve harmony. The entire operation of human society is constituted by the array of ethical relations. To transcend to a celestial state, to escape the confines of the realm of necessity and enter the realm of freedom, one must escape the ethical array. Buddha said, all sentient beings are equal, but within the ethical array, equality among sentient beings is difficult to achieve. The reality of life's cycle of reincarnation tells us that the ethical relationships between individuals in this life differ greatly from those in past and future lives. One's grandmother from a past life may become their daughter in this life, their wife in this life may become their mother in the next life, their children in this life may have been enemies in a past life, and someone who helped them in this life may have been their dog in their past life. The relationships between people, what are they exactly? If we limit our understanding of relationships to the present moment, everything seems clear, but if we expand our understanding to encompass a broader span of time and space, everything becomes confusing and difficult to discern. It's quite troublesome. Quite complex. It's a headache. It's better to treat everyone equally and love all sentient beings. How to escape the ethical array? Cultivate independent consciousness, cultivate a complete personality, follow the laws of life and existence according to the will of the ancestor of Buddha, the greatest creator, heed the teachings of Christ Jesus, Buddha Shakyamuni, and the celestial Laozi, establish moral guidelines for a happy, joyful, free, and blessed life. Regardless of who you are, as long as you can make me happy, joyful, free, and blessed, I'll play with you, otherwise, I won't. Regardless of who you are, as long as you can help my life ascend to the realm of freedom and reach heaven, I'll play games with you, otherwise, goodbye. However, one must still fulfill their responsibilities and obligations and repay their debts. 36-8 Diagram Arrays, the Array of Fate. Xiefeng. When a person is born into this world, known as the human world, it seems as though everything has already been arranged, with little room for personal choice. Factors such as one's parents, birth date and time, family environment, era of birth, gender, appearance, talents, temperament, race, region, siblings, and more are predetermined. Throughout life, the type of education one receives, the profession one pursues, the people one encounters, the life's twists and turns, whether one falls ill and what illnesses one suffers from, how much wealth one accumulates, what level of fame and status one achieves, how much suffering and joy one experiences, all these seem predetermined. In youth, one might believe that they can determine these things through their own efforts. However, as one grows older, they may realize that many things seem to have been predestined, and they are simply drifting along with the current of fate. Even one's aging, death, and the manner of death seem beyond one's control, not to mention what happens after death. This is the essence of the fate array. The fate array represents the predetermined aspects of one's life, the karmic arrangements made by the Tao based on each person's past life genetic information, a one-time comprehensive assessment of one's past merits and misdeeds. Things in this life that one cannot choose or control are the karmic results of one's past deeds, that is, the cause of the past life and the fruit of this life. From the moment of birth, individuals are ensnared in the web of the fate array. No matter how hard one strives or struggles, it's difficult to escape their influence. Want to choose different parents? Alter your gender, birth time, or location. Change your inherent nature. It's simply impossible, all choices are off the table. Of all the arrays within the 36-8 diagram arrays, the fate array is the most intricate and the most challenging to break free from, as it dictates much of one's life from the moment of birth, making it absolutely impossible to change. In the face of the fate array, all we can do is accept and bear our fate. Any resentment or resistance is futile, only serving to breed further anguish and sorrow. Accept your fate. With this life's fate array already set, individuals can only strive to influence their next life's fate array. Each person's fate array is unique and is entirely determined by their own spiritual cultivation. The fate array for one's next life is entirely within one's own control and choice. However, if one continues to live in a state of confusion, the fate array for the next life will likely not differ significantly from the current one, leading to yet another cycle of reincarnation. If one remains in a state of perpetual confusion, the cycle of reincarnation will continue indefinitely. Understanding the fate array and its roots, awakening to their implications is crucial. Without such awareness, individuals risk squandering their precious lives. Once on the wrong path, escaping the ensuing cycle of suffering and sorrow will require considerable effort. How does one break free from the current life's sorrowful fate array and enter a joyful one in the next life? This is a monumental task, involving macroscopic elements such as faith, beliefs, morality, ideals, values, outlook on life and life, worldview, as well as microscopic elements such as every word, action, thought, and intention. There are no shortcuts, no strokes of luck, only a solid, incremental approach. From the perspective of life-genuine values, it involves transcending the human fate array and entering the celestial one. Specifically, it means revering the greatest creator, revering life, revering nature, following the path of the greatest creator, adhering to and upholding the 800 values for new era human, repaying all your debts from all your past lives and accumulating treasures in heaven by creating the life-genuine era for humanity. Simultaneously, it entails gradually disengaging from human society and entering the realm of celestial, fundamentally transforming one's values, outlook on life and life, worldview, and continuously replacing human consciousness with celestial consciousness. The foundation for all of this lies in building one's soul garden, removing the weeds of passive, negative, and pessimistic emotions such as jealousy, resentment, comparison, anger, hatred, condemnation, laziness, selfishness, greed, arrogance, hostility, infatuation, attachment, rigidity, stubbornness, cruelty, and fostering the growth of active, positive, and optimistic qualities such as truth, goodness, beauty, love, faith, sincerity, tranquility, and harmony. The simpler something appears, the more complex it is, and vice versa. While the origins of fate array and the endeavor to break free from their constraints are exceedingly complex when analyzed theoretically, the path forward can be distilled into a single concept: follow the way of the greatest creator. 36-8 Diagram Arrays, the array of gravitation. Xiefeng. Everything in the universe is bound, or rather, protected by gravity. Without gravity, there would be no world, no universe, and no myriad phenomena, including all life forms. Gravity both confines and protects everything, including life. There are two types of gravity: material gravity and non-material gravity. The attraction between material entities is called material gravity, while the attraction between non-material entities is called non-material gravity. The strength of material gravity between objects is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. The strength of non-material gravity between entities is directly proportional to the debts they owe each other and inversely proportional to the favors they have done for each other. When gravity confines and protects material or non-material entities within a certain spacetime, preventing their escape, it is referred to as a gravitation array. Humans are simultaneously bound by material and non-material gravity, which prevents them from escaping the cycle of reincarnation in the human world. Material gravity primarily confines humans to Earth, their physical vessel, while non-material gravity restrains humans through their indebtedness to nature, other life forms, and other individuals. To break free from the cycle of reincarnation and ascend to heaven, humans must overcome the constraints of material and non-material gravity. As long as there is a physical vessel, humans cannot escape the Earth and the solar system to reach other planets. The probability of escaping through micro-wormholes, space tunnels, interstellar gates, or lateral spacetime is virtually negligible for the general populace and falls outside the realm of conventional discussion. Therefore, to reach heaven, humans must first transcend the physical body. Only by shedding their physical body can they have a chance to escape the Earth and the solar system. The methods to transcend the physical body include natural death, ascension, phoenix nirvana, and astral projection. Life-genuine emphasizes the method of phoenix nirvana. The concept of Phoenix Nirvana mentioned here shares similarities with historical concepts, particularly in Buddhism, but also has differences in nature and method. Therefore, it should not be equated with or misinterpreted based on historical concepts. Ultimately, the confinement of the physical body to life will be overcome, and there is no need for further in-depth study or discussion. What we need to focus on is the confinement of life by non-material gravity, which I have already discussed in The Law of Gravitation of Life. Please refer to that for further insights. How do we understand the gravitational pull of non-material on life? For example, when we travel away from home, we always long for our own home and eagerly anticipate returning. This longing, this constant desire to return home, represents the gravitational pull of non-material on life. Similarly, when we dream of flying, we often reach a certain height or distance before finding it difficult to fly higher or experiencing fear. This is also a result of the gravitational pull of non-material on life. Furthermore, when we are reincarnated, we tend to be born into familiar environments rather than unfamiliar ones. This, too, is due to the gravitational pull of non-material on life. For members of Life Echanuan, there is a clear phenomenon that accurately illustrates the gravitational pull of non-material on life. For example, when entering the second home, some members find it easy to settle in, while others face significant challenges. The primary reason for this discrepancy lies in the varying strength of the gravitational pull of non-material on each individual. Those with weaker pulls find it easier, while those with stronger pulls find it more difficult. Likewise, to transcend the human world and reach heaven in the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the Elysium Celestial Islands continent, individuals must first overcome the gravitational pull of non-material in the human and animal worlds. Otherwise, despite their yearning, they will struggle to take action, much like many members of Life Echanuan who find it challenging to settle in the second home, even though they aspire to do so. Where gravity is strong, material moves towards. Where gravity is strong, life cycles and transforms. The gravitational pull of non-material on life is latent, imperceptible to humans, and operates independently of human will, determined by the program of Tao. Although heaven exerts a strong pull on humans, why is it so difficult for humans to enter heaven? It is because the gravitational pull of the debts we owe in our past lives far outweighs the pull of heaven. This principle applies only to the world of reincarnation. To completely break free from the cycle of life and enjoy eternal happiness in the Pure Land, commonly referred to as jumping out of the three realms and not staying within the five elements, one must completely sever ties with the world of reincarnation, while the only thorough way of severing is not owing any debts to it while amassing treasures in the Pure Land. This is the basic principle of the gravitation array and how to break free from it to reach an ideal state. The principle is easy to understand, but putting it into practice and achieving one's goals is not a simple task. The ultimate method for escaping gravitational constraints and reaching the other shore is extensively discussed and practiced in Chanyuan Corpus and Siafeng Corpus, and it is not further elaborated here. 36-8 Diagram Arrays. The Array of Heart. Siafeng. The heart and the physical heart are two entirely distinct concepts. The physical heart is a part of the body's organs, existing in the physical realm. But what about the heart as a concept? What exactly is it and where does it reside? Let's first look at 4 sets of descriptions about the heart. Deeply grieved, heart-rending, tormented, utterly heartbroken, deeply distressed, mind in turmoil, heart shattered. Restless, agitated, harboring ulterior motives, disheartened, mentally distracted, restless mind, lingering fear. With a light heart, heart surging like waves, heart longing for far-off places, willing and content, heart blooming like flowers, clear-minded, intuitively understanding. At peace with oneself, calm and composed, heart filled with satisfaction, open-hearted, change of heart, hearts in harmony, wholeheartedly convinced. There are also phrases like, hearts are in tune, the size of the universe is determined by the breadth of one's heart, you gallop across the sea of my heart. From the above descriptions of the heart, it appears that people are the heart, and the heart is the person. When the heart is like dead ashes, the person also loses vitality and is no different from death. Nothing is more lamentable than a dead heart. When the heart dies, so does the person. What exactly is the heart? Where does it reside? What role does the heart play in human life? In essence, the heart does not exist. Humans fundamentally do not possess a heart. The heart is merely an 8-diagram array. People are entangled in the 8-diagram of the heart, and thought that they have a heart, unaware that they are being bound by this heart array. Buddha Shakyamuni, who possessed supreme authentic wisdom, told us, the past mind cannot be grasped, the present mind cannot be grasped, and the future mind cannot be grasped. The mind is fundamentally non-existent. Where can it be obtained? People are often beguiled by their hearts, oscillating between states of heartbreak and heart blossoming, between heart in turmoil and calm heart, between bewildered heart and clear-minded heart, between heart like dead ashes and refreshed heart. They find themselves completely played by the whims of their hearts. In spiritual practice, there is the saying of, the mind is influenced by circumstances for ordinary people and the mind influences circumstances for enlightened beings. In reality, the mind influencing circumstances is passive, futile, and inconclusive. Circumstances are endlessly changing, rising and falling in succession. Relying on the mind is never reliable. The heart is inherently empty, inherently non-existent, so how can it be relied upon? Once trapped in the heart's 8-diagram array, a person's life becomes bewildered, guided by the heart in search of sincerity, loyalty, honesty, and dedication, while guarding against deception, treachery, greed, and fickleness. The result is confusion, suffering, heart turmoil, and physical and mental exhaustion. In romantic relationships, the biggest fear is fickleness, and the pursuit is a complete heart. Once one discovers the other's fickleness, neither food nor sleep brings comfort. From this, jealousy, resentment, anger, and competition swarm in, stirring life into a whirlwind of chaos and conflict, causing unbearable heartache. The heart belongs to the person. If a person is without a heart, they become a celestial being or a Buddha. The heart is an 8-diagram array. By escaping from the 8-diagram array of the heart, one can escape from all the joys and sorrows, the comings and goings of human life, and enter into a beautiful and boundless paradise. How can one escape the heart array? The Buddha Shakyamuni taught us, one should produce a mind that abides nowhere and does not abide in forms to produce a mind, does not abide in sounds, smells, tastes, touch, or dharmas to produce a mind, and should produce a mind that abides nowhere. In other words, discard the heart and become a person without a heart. The Saint Laozi told us, favor and disgrace would seem equally to be feared, honor and great calamity, to be regarded as personal conditions, of the same kind. What makes me liable to great calamity is my having the body, which I call myself. If I had not the body, what great calamity could come to me? This can also be extended to the heart. Heartbreak and heartache occur because we have a heart. If we have no heart, where does the heartbreak and heartache come from? Can one still live without a heart? Yes, it depends on the power of our thinking. If our thinking power is high, we live. If our thinking power is low, we die. Prime Minister Baigon in the Investiture of the Gods was originally living well but was suddenly controlled by the words, cabbages have no heart but can live, people without a heart must die, from Su Daji, and immediately died from shock. Without a heart, how does one live? By living out one's nature. The Buddha is the nature, and the nature is the Buddha. Living out one's nature is living as a Buddha, living as celestial, being completely free.